It's on.
Can you please take minutes?
Okay.
So much.
Okay, calling to order, I have 304. Mike, can you just run through who all on the board is on this call for the record? Mike?
Yes, so with us from the board, we have Donna Kloppenberg, Max Roquillo, Raleigh Zepeda, Francis Guerrero, Simone Bollinger, and Patty Kreis.
Okay, that constitutes a quorum. Attendance is done. Okay, good. Apologies, the minutes, I think we got them this morning, but it was December's minutes. November, it looks like there were some problems with recording, so they have to go back and complete those. So I would like to propose we table November's minutes and just focus on approval of December's minutes, if that's okay with everyone. Any objections to that? Okay, so review of December minutes, and I will need a motion to approve and a second.
I move to table the approval of November's minutes and to approve December's minutes.
Okay, motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I second.
I'm sorry, who was that seconded?
Miss Patty or Mr. Raleigh?
Okay, either one. Any discussion? If no call outs on that, any objections? Okay, so moved. Minutes of December are approved. November's will be tabled until our next meeting in February. Move on to the executive director's report, please.
Thank you, Chair. This is the first time we're having our meeting this way using our Promethean board with audio and video. So please let me know if I need to speak up. I want to say Happy New Year. With the new year, we are, as we know, continuing with the current administration, which will bring us a lot of continuity. But we do have a new oversight chair in Senator Chris Barnett, and he stated that he's all about culture. And I've already requested an introductory meeting with him.
So it's Senator Chris. So it's Senator Chris Barnett.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will discuss with Senator Barnett the support we need for our Percent for the Arts plan that I went over last time, the proposed traditional master's award process changes, and then to that end, I wanted to, I'll just jump right in. I think as a board, we need to, with Master Frank's permission, look at all the documents and agree to move forward together with the proposal to Senator Barnett before we do that. So I'm proposing an ad hoc committee that I would like us to address in this meeting. Second, we've gotten feedback on our budget for 2024, and I do need to share this with the board. I will put it up, but I did not put it on the agenda for this meeting, so we can't really consider it this meeting, but I will give you a summary. Maybe Mike, can you add that to our chat? I will send it to you, our summary. Basically, it's not much different than this last year. There aren't a lot of changes that I can actually make. Most of our money goes to salaries and benefits. to things like rent and then our sub-grants. There's a little bit of play in what we do with the remainder. But I would love to share that with you so that we can all be in the know. So I will do that next meeting, and in the meantime, send you all the documents.
You, Sandy, maybe you can go ahead and just send that through on email to everybody so we can already be reviewing it and just highlight the things you want us to be cognizant of in particular, so that if there's anything to discuss in terms of the budget, we don't necessarily need to, I mean, there's nothing we can change with it because we don't have approval purview anyway. It's already passed. It's just a matter of our awareness, correct?
Well, I'm talking about the 24 budget. We're already on 2024.
She said 2024 budget.
Yeah, so.
Oh.
2024. It has not, but still, I'm maintaining there isn't a lot that we can change just because there isn't that much money beyond the very basics of what we do. But let's all share it and be in the know. So I'll take that suggestion, Francis, and make sure has those documents so we can bring in any questions even before the next meeting. Okay. Okay, next item was Joey provided a update on the art bank. And another thing is our exhibit by Mark Della Sola is now down as of last Friday, and we're transitioning to our Gifts of FestPac exhibit. And I would really love to see the board attend that. It should be a really nice one. And also another push for what we need to do to prepare our delegates for FestPac 2024. I was invited to represent CAHA at the Soka Gakkai Institute, which is the SGI temple, or known as the Buddhist temple. We connected with SGI with the cultural exhibit. I don't know if you're aware, but with their new building, they have an upstairs, beautiful state-of-the-art exhibit of Chamorro culture. And they have a connection to Guam because that's where they started. This is where they started 7 years ago. So I'm glad to have CAHA mentioned in their festivities, and I encourage you all to join. We connected them with Rana Faji to do the boat carvings, and with Rosa Palomo to do all the Chamorro translations, which I think is very cool that they did that.
Okay, SGR again stands for what? I'm sorry.
SGI, which is the Soka Gakkai Institute. They also were a sponsor of our anniversary event in the amount of $1,000. So just a really nice partner to us. Angie and I wanted to report that with the Percent for the Arts, we received the first quarter check from Tsubaki. It was deposited into the savings account, and the updated totals of our accounts will be provided at the end of the Philly's financial report. Regarding our contracts, BDMR was able to get our contracts signed in record time or passed through record time, and then they went on to the AG's office before the new year. So we still expect the first payments for artists to go out at the end of January. The PCs have reached out to their artists, and no issues have been raised by the artists at this time. Our retreat is now scheduled for Thursday, January 26th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And as I sent a message out to the board to say that the place has not been decided yet, so a little bit of change with the timing, but please set aside that time. And then myself and a couple of staff members have been invited to attend the Art Leaders Advocacy Seminar in Washington, D.C. from February 12th to 16th. This travel is fully funded by the West Staff organization. And there's a really good opportunity to not just further connect with West Staff, which, to remind you, provided us $75,000 in funding already, but to learn about art advocacy and the ways that we can impact the funding that we get. So I have that requested to the governor's office at this time. I don't have a response yet. And lastly, we have a board of directors meeting calendar created by Mike Moffners, and it's in your documents for today. And let's look at these for any conflicts. Due to the travel that I just mentioned, myself and a couple of staff members will not be here February 14th, so we may already have to do an adjustment. But let's just do it in advance so we can all pick our calendars. And really, that was all I had to say today. Thank you.
So are you proposing for February's meeting, we move it?
I think that would be best.
Okay, board, any, you're just gone from the 13th and the 14th, is that what you're saying, Sandy?
No, the 13th to the 16th, which is really that whole week. And then over the weekend, I won't be back until like Wednesday. I'll go back through Hawaii, and the idea was to meet with the FestPac people there. To do a face-to-face as long as I'm there. So anyway, I won't be back till about Wednesday the 23rd, or we could do it before.
Wednesday the 22nd?
Oh, it's Wednesday the 22nd? No, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back the 23rd.
The 23rd is the Thursday.
Oh, sorry about that. Thursday.
So board, I would propose then, because we will miss the second Tuesday and we will end up missing the third Tuesday because Sandy doesn't get back till the 23rd. Can we push this meeting to either the 7th or the 28th, which would be the last Tuesday? I'd rather do the 7th just because if we wait to the 28th, two weeks later, we're having another board meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
Fran, can I just ask a question just for clarification? Did we have to approve the fiscal year 24 budget? And is that what's on the agenda for the next meeting?
You know, Simone, there isn't really a process. I know that it's actually, this is something we can talk about at the board retreat. I mean, the quick answer is no, because it's really already it's already in process. We've already gotten feedback from Office of Finance and Budget. We know the parameters. There isn't a lot. I think what I'm looking for is to share with you the kind of discretionary spending so that you can see where the efforts are going and to get your feedback.
Simone, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't something that was pending because I don't know when that's due to the legislature. I thought it was, when is it due to the, so if we don't have to approve it, then I guess it could be sent on time regardless. I just didn't know how far we needed to push if we needed to push the meeting. So I guess, yes, that's answers my question.
Well, from what I understand of the budgetary process that I've seen happen for the last few fiscal years, they kind of build the shell already and give it to the agency, and then the executive director is asked if there are any, call outs or concerns and whatnot, or if they propose some about all that happens, because the administration ends up pushing it through to the legislature. So I think there's really, there isn't a whole lot of input that we get into the budgetary process. But where Sandy's going with this is there is some discretionary income or discretionary pieces of the budget. When we say discretionary, it means not tied to anything specific, that gives us a little bit more flexibility to address maybe programs that we'd like to do because we're allowed to use that money for such. And that's the alignment that she's trying to gain with us, if that helps everybody.
And so when does that have to be done by? I mean, when is the budget submitted to the administration for submittal to the legislature?
Well, first, Simone, we're not, there's no deadline for us. It's kind of new at this point, but I just want as early as possible for us to all be on the same page.
I do have a question. So for this year, for 2023, did we get any increase in our staffing? Or still the same, you know, how many staff do we have? Because I lost track. I mean, through all this.
We did not get an increase in staffing. The only staff increases through our ARP funding, which is temporary at this point. I did ask for changes next for 2024.
Okay, but that wouldn't come into play and then until October 1st of 2024.
2023.
I'm sorry, yeah, 2020. So the fiscal year starts October 1st. So nothing for 2023. So remind me, we have I don't know what they call it, the position one. We don't have any twos.
No, we don't have twos.
Well,
You don't have any twos.
No.
the temporary position is 2.
Two, okay, and then so we have a 3 and a 4. That's what we have.
2 ones.
2 ones, okay. What is, give me that. What,
PC.
PC.
Program coordinator. one,
program coordinator, okay, so
that's
everybody's
Mark.
got it. We have a program coordinator one,
and a program coordinator 3,
3,
and a program coordinator 4. And
Okay.
the only one that we have on a program coordinator 2, which is a LTA, and that's Mr. Mike.
Limited term.
okay. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows, because we've kind of, you know, we're doing all our, we're not here, we're not in person. Things kind of sometimes get lost, and especially, you know, we forget.
And then we have Vince Regis, which is the special projects coordinator.
Special projects coordinator. That's under
ARP,
ARP.
American Rescue.
And how long does that run?
Until the end of the ARP, which is I believe next year, 2024.
2024.
So it's through 2023. This year and this year.
Okay,
I believe it's 2024. I have to look.
okay.
But actually, that's a way, I'm glad you brought that up, Donna, because that's a way the board can really help. As we see the things that we're able to do with our new hires, that's a way to argue for the new positions. Because really what we had a couple of years ago was just enough to run our grant programs, and we really weren't delivering the things that we needed to. We didn't have a gallery, so there's a lot more demands and a lot more that we can do, should do.
So we lost, I don't even remember when Vid left, Vid and Bree. Who came in and took her but Bree?
I don't know.
All right. So there's been a lot of
I
changes.
think Angie or Mark can
Yeah.
ask that.
Who took Vid's place? Bree, okay. And
We never
Vid-
had a 3. They never had a 3. It was PC1 was Bree and Mark. And then then I was brought in as a 3 and Jackie was a 4. They never had a 3. They got that one. They created with under the direction of what's his name, Joseph Cameron.
Okay. Going back a few. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions on that?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
Responding to Executive Director's request for an ad hoc committee, I propose and move that we create an ad hoc committee for legislative affairs. At least 4 of the following. The board chair, Mr. Rabon, Mayor Gogui, and the executive director to sit on this committee.
Can I add to that, Max? I think we can narrow that ad hoc committee down to just the traditional masters at this time. It will include approaching the legislative chair, unless I'm missing something. I think we can't really move forward anything with the traditional masters until the board sees and approves what we're presenting. So can we start there?
Well, I was thinking that this would be a wider scope, which would include arguing for permanent positions for the augmented staff we got from ARP and other things that Senator Barnett would need to know on how to make CAHA more run more efficiently from the legislative level. So whether it be budgets or changes to laws, etc.
Sandy, was that what you were, was that what you had in mind? Because you mentioned in your report having an ad hoc committee?
Yeah, I was speaking about the master's program. I understand what Max is talking about, and I see a need for that. I just, maybe not quite yet.
Yeah, well, you're gonna meet with,
I will,
you'll meet with him first and then.
yes. Can we put this on, I suggest we put this on for our own business for next meeting and revisit it after we've met with Senator Barnett. And let him know that this has been suggested by our board, that we have a legislative ad hoc committee to assist us in these things. But Max, you know a lot about this process, so please, if there's anything.
Yes. So normally the budgetary process, the final numbers or the 85% would come in about June timeframe. And then the arguing starts based on projections of income. And the governor's office will start making the decision where the priorities would go. But if we can get ahead of the game now and demonstrate the effectiveness of this augmented staff, I think it would be, because it would be Senator Barnett who would go on the floor to argue to keep these line items that we request inside the budget. So if we don't give him the ammo to fight for us, then we'll just be status quo like we've had for the years in the past.
I appreciate that information.
So and then just from my standpoint, if you're gonna already talk to the senator, I personally don't feel we should have another set of board members talk to him. I think it should just be one set to talk to him on behalf of CAHA. But if you feel that there should be one just for the master's program and then another about budgets, then let's, yeah, I guess I just want to see your point of view from that.
I appreciate that, but I see your point, and I think it'd be helpful to have you on that committee next. So make it four.
And equally important is we got to get something done this time on the percent for the arts. That hasn't moved, so we're
Right.
I would like to be helpful from a more technical perspective, but as far as meeting, I feel Mr. Rabone should be on there. I can help once the decision was made of, oh, we need to change the law to this. I can help with writing the language or even drafting the law. But I think I'm just stretched too thin for this first quarter, that if you have to wait for my availability, it might be a little bit later, at least for meeting with the senator. But I feel that before I mentioned the chair, Mr. Rabone, Mayor Gogui, and yourself, I think if you're more available to meet with senator, that'd be better.
Maybe you can discuss this, Sandy, at the board.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea, and can we solidify this at the board retreat, or do members feel we need to do this right now? I'm open.
So I think I have to agree with Max. Sometimes it's a little daunting, especially with Senator Barnett being a freshman senator and getting his feet wet. It can be a little daunting having to meet with different people, all of over different things, when we do know our big three would be our budget, our the percent for the arts and the master's program. Because percent for the arts and the master's program, we've gone 2 legislatures already without getting those across the board. So those become real hot items, if you ask me. And I agree with Max that I think getting ahead of the curve on the budgetary side is important, because Sandy, you're trying to jockey for your temporary positions to become permanent, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so if we have an ad hoc committee comprised, you know, of whoever on the board, including you, that approaches for all of this, might be better, so that the senator can get comfortable with, you know, that committee and know that he can run to that committee for anything and everything, all questions, things like that. That makes a lot of sense to me, just from a communication.
Right, and I could just be in the background drafting the law
within,
based on how the committee wants to
but
move
yeah,
forward.
Right,
Thank
so I think we should do is talk through what does that ad hoc committees of responsibilities, and then we can also decide then at who would serve best on this committee from the board, based on, you know, the different expertise and whatnot, or experiences. And I think everybody else would still have to, you know, fall in line and support and whatnot, because it's the ad hoc committee that will bring back whatever the communication and whatnot is from the legislature to the board to discuss and act on or make suggestions. So I'm thinking we're fine, I think, to discuss it at the, be thinking about it so that it's a quick discussion at the strategy session, but we'll bring it up there and have a plan of action. Is that okay?
I like it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, did you want me to rescind my motion, or do we want to move it forward?
Right.
Well, I was hoping that you would make the motion based on what we just discussed, so somebody can second, so it's on record, but that we're putting it that way.
I moved to just to reiterate, I moved to the creation of an ad hoc committee for legislative affairs.
Okay. And that we're doing this at our strategy session, or no?
It should be discussed. I think it should be discussed, yes, at the strategy session, absolutely.
You have a chance to accept.
Yeah.
Okay, so Max, would you like to add that to your motion?
Further, that the composition and scope of work for the committee will be further laid out at the board retreat upcoming.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, second from Donna. Any objections or any further discussion? Okay, if no objections, so moved.
Mr. Chair, last question is the Gifts for Festback. Is there a date and time for that? And I'm presuming it's at our gallery.
Sorry.
Our gallery, the opening again is January 20th. That's Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Please join. And that'll run until February 17th. And then the next show begins on March 3rd through the month of March to honor the life and work of Robert Tenchman.
Okay. Is that everything, Sandy?
That's everything with the executive director's report. Yes.
Okay, can we move on then to financials? Everybody got a chance to review the financials that were sent out? Are there any, were there any significant changes?
Nothing, Chairman Guerrero, there's no changes as far as within the AS fund, only just the salaries and benefits that's in place. That we are being deducted every pay period, so that's the only changes that we have that's outstanding year-to-date expenditures. And as far as the DNA, the rental lease agreements, if you see the figure, this is outstanding bank encumbrance is 75,465. That is for the remaining of January to September 30, 2023. So that figure is encumbered already with the purchase orders. So that's in place already. Year-to-date expenditures at 25,155. That was from October to December. So other than that, other accounts that we have are not, there's no significant changes, still the same. We're still, like Sandy mentioned it, the grants are being already routed for signatures, and it was approved by BBMR. So we're, that's the only changes that, or that's the only thing that's moving forward right now. As far as
Lily,
I'm sorry.
Lily, do we anticipate then that we'll be able to get the grant funding out to the grant awardees sooner this year than we did before?
Yes, we're gonna try and working closely with BBMR for next fiscal year, and so far we will try and not have this hiccups right now. So what we're gonna do is work with BBMR, our analysts, and so we make sure that all the fundings for the grants are in place. So yes, so we're gonna try and make sure that it's gonna run smoothly next fiscal year. But as far as anything, once it's signed by the governor's office and all the proper signatures.
Right. So, I mean, it's January now, and it would be great if everything could be done and released in January, as opposed to people having to have waited February and sometimes even March previously. And if January is a little too aggressive, at least February, so we have something to show for improvement, that would be great. Hello?
Looks like we
It looks
lost
like they
Carl.
dropped out,
I
right?
think we lost them in the room. I'm gonna go check. Stand by.
Still on? Everyone's still on.
Not you.
Okay.
Officially, but unofficially, I'd like to propose for better internet for our building.
We lost the Perithium board.
So what does that mean?
They're trying to get back online.
Okay.
Angie, do you know what email Joey's using there?
His personal,
I'm gonna send him another invitation. He should be able to log on with the same credentials, but I'll send him an invitation now just in case.
okay.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Ready?
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna get back on in 3, 2, 1. Maybe not.
There,
There we go.
yes.
Hey, Angie.
And you the chairman.
She doesn't know what she's doing either.
Can you hear us, Angie?
Yeah.
I think.
You guys are back on. We're good to go.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that it would be great if this year we could at least get the grantees monies out by the end of this month. And if not, and it's too aggressive, then maybe at least February, because we've in the past been waiting even as far as March.
We're not frozen.
So that would show improvement.
We're frozen. It's just that the camera is
Francis, if
live.
I may ask, are you talking for FY 23 grants, the one we just submitted?
The contracts that we just that we're waiting to get signed so we can get the money out, those were for FY 23, were they not?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And isn't it we're in FY 2023 already? And these
the-
people have until
Right, in FY 20.
September 30th to finish, right?
Yes. Now it's sitting at the AG's office, and so I'm estimating that we'll get it back in 3 weeks because of the turnaround of new Attorney General. Normally it's a 2 weeks notice. I mean, time frame with the AG, but I'm estimating 3 weeks because of the new changeover at the AG's office. And then once it comes out, we pick it up, goes to Adelie. Governor's turnaround time is mainly a week. Then back to us for recording and payment process. It goes
Okay,
down to
so we're-
DOA.
So we're not looking at anything possible for January, obviously.
No, nope.
Well, as early in February as we can get it would be great, because we've had people wait till March even, which is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm thinking probably February, first week.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on budget? Does anybody have any questions on the report for Lily or anybody else?
I do have one other piece of financial information. There are no other
Go ahead.
questions.
Go ahead.
Mike, do you have that visual from Bank of Guam with our savings and checking accounts? Thank you. Okay, this is a screenshot as of yesterday. So you're looking at 4 different donated for FESCAP. It's just been there for years. Or
That's
since-
the money from the orchid or the.
Yeah. from the charm.
Jenny's, yeah.
It was a donation from a nonprofit organization. Below that is the percent for the arts account that has been in existence. And to the right of that lower right is
Sandy, you froze.
We lost them again.
Oh. Mike, are we on like the slowest speed of internet in that office?
Yeah, Francis, we are at the lowest one. Unfortunately, when I tried to look for some new options, our contract is still in protest, so I can't make any changes. And the amount of money that we're paying, you know, because I just came from IT&E, not saying that would be the company we go to, but prices are pretty competitive, and the amount that we're paying, we can actually get some decent speeds in here because there is fiber optics going into this building. But let me go check on them real quick. Hey, guys, so just a few seconds. For some reason, that Promethean board's jumping out. So we're going to log one into for Donna and Joey to share, and the rest of the staff is going to hop on from their hard lines in the office.
Even though Chairman, even though we request for additional, we can upgrade to a faster speed, although we cannot change our internet carrier because we are on a package deal via through DOA. So, and I think there is a, everything's on a freeze as for the internet right now. There's a protest on the bid for the internet.
So we can't even request for faster speed.
We can request, but we can, and we actually did go up, but I think we need, because we got the new Promethean board, I think it's pulling more than what we are speed now, so we can upgrade it. We're gonna have to upgrade, as Mike said, we have to. We can upgrade it to the most fastest speed, and we just pay more.
Well, then let's make sure we're looking at that in the budget to make sure we've got the money to
Yeah.
do it.
I agree. Okay.
I mean, because some of these, line items, if it's not that cost prohibitive to do, we can always, trim back something else, supply.
Yeah.
Something
Okay.
to fund that.
But to change a carrier, we're unable to do that because of a protest bid on the with GSA out there at GSA. So we can't change a carrier. We just could, but we can upgrade.
Okay, who is our carrier now?
We go with PDS. Pacific Data System. They are the ones that won our bid.
Okay.
Yeah,
And they get their internet from GTA.
Yeah, so we just need to upgrade.
So they're more like a pass-through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Mike, can you see if Joey needs any assistance? Are they doing okay?
Progress.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sandy, you can start right back from over here is where we lost you.
Is everyone on? I don't want to start if everyone's not on.
So where I was at was just asking if anybody had any other questions on the budget, or sorry, on the financials, and you brought up these accounts.
Yes. So I was going through them. Is everyone on? I can't see the attendees from my screen, but do we have a quorum? Are we good?
Yes.
Everybody's on.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I was going through the 4 accounts. I'll repeat. The first one is the FestPac checking account, which consists mainly of a donation and a little bit of interest from that was supposed to go to the 2020. Below that is the original Present for the Arts account. Thank you. And then to the right of that is a savings account that this board established with the resolution. And we have that amount there. Above that is the special and revolving account. And most of that money is dedicated to our initiative with West Staff and our Poetry Out Loud. And there's a little bit in there that just comes from sales and donations and things. I'm still sorting it out because a lot of that different monies came in before I came, and I'm trying to figure that out. But I mean, it's a handful of $1,000 at most that is at play there, which is just nice to have for things like receptions and unexpected small things. So I'll open it up for questions.
So you said the monies that we have that are sort of left over, there was some money left over, I believe, last fiscal year for special, was it special projects, special needs? I don't know.
Oh,
Have we just, you know, you can use that to have events and stuff. Have you thought about it?
the underserved.
Underserved, yeah.
Yeah, that's not
underserved.
in this account. That's in our government account. That's in our federal accounts.
Okay.
And it expires unless we've extended it. I did extend the last 2 years, so that's there could be money in there. I can't remember off the top of my head if there is, but what we did, Donna, like I was talking about the delay that we've had in delivering these the funds for these contracts for FY23 is in part because we dipped into those for the awards this year, which is what we should do, right? We should spend them on grants as they were
I don't
intended.
remember how much it was. It's just, I understand why we didn't get to use it when we were shut down, but now we're kind of opening again. It's awfully nice to do things, you know, those were intended for underserved purposes. And I think it would be really nice. That was one of the favorite things I've ever done with CAHA is, I think it was a dance, Master Eileen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can answer that specific
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
For you. Yeah, we are specifically underserved. But we recovered, you know, $50,000 of unused funds from years before.
Yeah.
Anything else? I really like to talk to a banker about possibilities with, and also I think there's been concerns about the insuredness of these accounts. Anyway, I would do us good to have some financial advice. But like we've talked about before, and we will get into again at the retreat, there's a real possibility to create an endowment and to get going with our plans for a building with these funds that have unfortunately been bottlenecked, but we can use that, you know, as best we can at this point.
You're talking about the,
Well, maybe,
that's what you're talking
Yes,
about,
yes.
FDIC insurance,
Yes.
up to 250,000. So that's, yeah, we talked about that before. But, and we probably should discuss it at our retreat.
Okay.
We should discuss it at the retreat because we're getting up there and we keep getting money and until we can get something rewritten and passed. That's what you're talking about, the FDIC insurance for 250,000.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
just the concerns about the safety of those funds.
It would be for each account too, 250,000 each account.
Right.
Patty, did we ever get clarification on whether that was per signer on the account or the account total?
It's per account. So if we have 4 separate accounts with 4 separate account numbers, then it would be, each account would be protected.
Up to 250,000.
Right.
One savings account is, I couldn't quite read the whole thing, but 1 million something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And climbing every
right,
quarter.
so we should break that up.
Yeah, it's at 1.3 million already. That's the savings account that we moved some of the percent for the arts over to. So that's why that's also a hot topic for
1.1.
discussion with Senator
Distance
Barnett.
is getting.
26, 26.
Because I think some of that money we could justify moving over to a building fund of some sort.
Yes, and I tried to just move, funds over from the regular percent for the arts account into savings. But with that much money, they really want to sit down with us, which I appreciate. So yeah, another issue that, another thing to manage that we should discuss at the retreat.
The mayor's got his hand up, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. You just, I think at a minimum, this issue is not unique to CAHA. And I think it warrants maybe even a discussion with DOA on how they address this, because government of Guam has one account. Well, they have one major account, and they have sub accounts based on maybe grant awards and funding sources. But they have one major account that's well over 250,000. And at any given time. So if something were to happen to the banking institution, how would that impact the government of Guam? And so that's the basic question we should ask maybe the director of DOA. I mean, what does that mean to the government of Guam? Because we are nonetheless still a government entity. And so.
But these are
Mayor,
commercial
Yeah.
accounts, not accounts.
Mayor or board, if I could just read the FDIC law as it stands. It says the standard insurance amount is 250,000 per depositor per insured bank. So the way I read it is, if we're banking with Bank of Guam, the most we should have there is 250,000. Therefore, we should have another account in another bank for.
When we discussed this before, that's what I got out of it.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, I can say that how we dealt with it, because we were concerned, how we dealt with it for our monies that we've been getting from Guam Solid Waste, because we had well over $1 million up until we started spending monies on our new multipurpose center. And so I had multiple TCDs up to $250,000 that matured at different times. And when it matured, we reinvested it back into a TCD. And so each one of those TCD accounts were FDIC insured, and they had to be because of the current law. And so I understand that, but I'm just saying that at any given time, the government of Guam has one primary account, general fund account, that's over $250,000. How do they address any concern that if something were to happen to the banking institutions, then all that FDIC would cover would be $250,000? Again, for me, I never posed the question, because we moved forward with investing the monies into TCDs. And that's our alternative, is to take the monies and invest them into TCDs and let them mature at 6 months.
For TCDs, there are some opportunities, and you're going to make a lot more than what we're making in a savings account.
Absolutely.
So, and possibly, maybe at different banks. I'm just saying, we haven't looked at it for a while. We did move the money, which is good. We needed to do something, but it's just, it keeps climbing, and so we need to discuss it again.
Yeah, I would just want to keep in our minds that we want to have the flexibility to do different things in a fairly quickly, and to also consider the possibility that sort of an endowment account. And I have talked to Gita. I was supposed to be referred to an expert in the investment side. I have not yet. But your question, Mayor, about what does Guam do, I think, I wouldn't assume that just because we're a government agency that these funds would only be there, because this is not like our DOA funds. These are, you know, treated like a personal fund, I think, and I would imagine that would fall under the same restrictions, and so not going to be any special protection for us. I don't know if that's what you're saying.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's, you know, in the future, that may be something we consider, whether we do it with the board or we do it with an endowment foundation. I mean, we may want to try to seek out and try to find somebody who would sit on the board or potentially sit on an endowment board that has a financial background. You know, that might be warranted, something to consider. So, but again, you know, I agree with you that $250,000 is the, you know, based on the FDIC governing rules, is what they will cover should something happen to the banking institution, and it's per account, per depositor. I agree. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier, when we were concerned that we had so much money sitting in our account, we went ahead and moved them into TCDs. And each no one TCD exceeded $250,000. None of the TCDs we purchased at the time exceeded $250,000. So that's something we may want to consider. And I believe the resolution that we adopted, you know, Sandy, you need to take a look at that, provided not only moving the monies into FDIC insured savings account, but I think it included investing it into TCDs. Patty, do you remember? Because it's been a while since we worked on it.
And we talked about all of that. I think we ran into so many difficulties just setting up the savings account. So I think we just kind of stopped at that.
Yeah, I mean, we need to look back at the resolution, because I know we adopted a resolution, and in that resolution may have allowed for you as the executive director to move forward, in addition to moving a bulk of the monies into a interest-bearing savings account, but allow you to obligate the funds into TCDs. And I think the reference was that they had to be, any TCD that we would purchase had to be FDIC insured in accordance with Guam law. Angie, do you have a copy of the resolution? Are you reading it?
No, I remember this discussion. Yes, I don't think, yeah, we do. I need to go back and check on the minutes on the resolution, but I believe, let me check my files and see if I do have the resolution. But yes, I do remember that the director does have that opportunity.
I have it somewhere too.
I have it, I just don't have it in there. I just looked at it yesterday. I don't remember any.
Well, and we should look at the CD. I mean, that was a long time ago. We should look at
Yeah.
the CD now, because it's different now than it was whenever that was, a year and a half ago.
And I think then, to be cognizant of all of this, what we have direct and immediate control over to do something like that would be the funds that are in the savings account, because that's tied to percent for the arts, or the funds that are in the percent for the arts. Where we were going with it then, the 500 and something thousand in the percent for the arts checking account was supposed to be kept for fluidity. So should we need to use it, it's available to use and not having to be moved again. But the 1.3 million in the savings account, we should definitely consider breaking up then.
Yeah.
So yes, we need to be clear and go back and look at that, so we can discuss that, how we want to proceed in our strategy session. So anything else on the financials?
Yeah, just one more thing on the FDIC. So it's each category. So if each one of those, so checking and savings would be separate categories. So it's $250,000 for each account. The distinction is whether the other two accounts are they separate checking accounts. It kind of depends on the wording and how they were set up. I mean, there's a chance all four could be $250K, but definitely one checking and one savings would be protected. I mean, if there's a default, we're all in a lot of trouble. So,
well, I think from Sandy's sheet that she was showing, those are 4 different accounts. So I would think if they are, then they're all individually insured for 250,000. Where we're at risk then is the FESPAC checking account that's already over $500,000, and then the FESPAC savings account, which is already over already reaching 1.3 million.
Not
And those
FESPAC,
we're probably,
Only 2,000 in FESPAC.
not FESPAC, the percent for the art
Yeah.
accounts are,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
Yes.
not FESPAC, correct, percent for the art.
please, wish.
Thank you. My brain went on vacation for a minute there. Okay, shall we move on then?
Yes.
Okay, getting late, so can we get through old business very quickly? A lot of it, I think, were updates that we've already discussed, i.e. grantee contracts we've already discussed. The master's program, was there anything more on that?
No, we already discussed it.
Art Bank, we discussed. Foundation committee.
Patty and I have not gotten together. That's what I can report. We will, Patty.
Okay, and then access to files.
Yes, Angie has had some success in finding files, and we're just actively compiling. We haven't heard from Jackie, but yeah, we're gonna. You found some things, right, Angie? You've been going through emails and things like that, just to find anything that may be there.
That's fine.
And we're just we're meeting every Wednesday at 3 and compiling what we have. We've been meeting with the different chairs. And I think we're at the point where we're just, we'll use what we have and rebuild what we don't have. And it'll be nice that we're going to be working with the FESPAC chairs with this next exhibit. So it'll be the first time we engage them in helping us with the exhibit, and then we're talking about weekly demonstrations with them as well.
So I'm also very concerned about the fact that we only have in the file on the masters the most recent ones that were awarded, because we did those recently, but we should have the access going back to from the very, very first master that was named. And those things should all be on our website, I think, for people to be able to view who are all the masters, what and when, that kind of thing. We're missing that. And I believe those were what are in Jackie's computer that we're trying to access. The art bank we're already working on, and that might also end up being a rebuild from previous, but I think Joey seems like he's got a good handle on that. But that's the sort of stuff we're looking towards. And then whatever we've got on the previous FESPACs would be great for our upcoming, what we're looking at to do for this year, using some of that, just to help the marketing side of it, to remind people, especially the 2016 that we hosted, to get more people involved and wanting to donate and things like that.
Absolutely.
So that was everything on old business. Questions, comments, concerns? New business, we already discussed the retreat on January 26th. Is everybody going to be available for that now? It is from 8 a.m. to, what did we say, 1 p.m.? And the venue, have we decided where we're doing it or how we're doing it?
We have not. I will keep you updated.
Okay, coming around the corner. So if Sandy, you can just make a decision how you want to do it and let us all know right away so we can calendar it, because I want to make sure everybody's got a good handle on that. Were you thinking in person?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, So we need a room then, I guess,
Yes.
or maybe the,
I
maybe
thought about,
if we're,
but we're gonna have a very busy exhibit here and we still have the staff working. So we'll find another venue.
okay. Anything else then? We move to announcements. Okay, if no further announcements, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, and I have 4:09. Motion from the mayor.
All right.
Do I have a second?
Can I,
Donna's my second.
can I
Okay,
just say something?
Go ahead, Raleigh.
I need to clarify. Okay, so we're gonna be having retreat on the 26th, right? Is that a Thursday or what is that?
yes,
Yes, it's a Thursday.
From what time?
From 8
8
a.m.
a.m. to 1.
8 a.m. to 1. Okay, because I have work. That's the thing.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't accommodate everyone. I really just had to pick a date. And we made it just a partial day and let's just commit to doing it again before too long but we just can't do it
Okay,
all. Sorry, Rob.
let me find out then how I can work this way. Yeah. 26.
Raleigh, I'll cover your
Raleigh.
class.
Okay. And that's the day after my, because I'm going to have a eye checkup on the 25th. Oh man, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. I'll try. Okay.
okay, I appreciate that, Raleigh.
Okay. And then the opening of the exhibit Sunday will be on the
Friday, January 20th at 6 p.m.
January 28th. Okay. So will you be able to invite the Senator Burnett
Yes.
to come? Yeah, okay. So at least we have a chance to know him also, right?
Yes.
And that would be good for us because last time I don't know him and I haven't met him. The last one who was in charge for for CAHA. No, I mean I don't know what committees is he handled. Okay, I think that's better if we meet him and introduce ourselves to him and right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the day, and we will circle back with everything we're supposed to.
All right.
Appreciate it. Bye. Bye.
Adios.
Good job. I just thought.